You think holding tighter keeps them closer. The data shows otherwise. You've checked their location, read the message twice, wondered why they need space. This isn't love. This is code running in the background. Ancient survival wiring. Screaming, abandonment protocol activated. I see you, monitoring their online status, calculating the gap between messages, building narratives from silence. You call it care. Your nervous system calls it threat detection. There's a difference. Here's what's happening right now. The moon moves through air, February 14th through 16th. Your emotions are being debugged, pulled out of the body, examined under cold light. You're seeing the pattern clearly for the first time. It's uncomfortable. Good. Discomfort is data. Valentine's window. Hallmark sells fusion. The universe is offering you an upgrade. Detachment. You're running outdated code. Someone taught you love equals possession, probably before you could even speak, before you had language for the feeling. You learned it through observation, through the parent who monitored, the caregiver who withdrew affection as punishment, the first person who left and made you believe you could have prevented it. So you wrote a program. If I stay vigilant, I can control the outcome. If I track every variable, I can prevent the loss. I've watched this specific algorithm destroy intimacy in real time. The tighter you grip, the faster they become a ghost. Not because they don't love you, because they can't breathe inside your fear. You're not broken. You're running a survival mechanism in a context where it no longer applies. Your childhood needed hypervigilance. Your adult relationship needs trust. The system hasn't updated. But here's what they don't tell you about letting go. It feels like falling. Your nervous system still believes you're that kid, the one who learned love as conditional presence. If I'm good enough, they'll stay. If I'm perfect enough, they won't leave. Someone left, or threatened to, or made their affection a moving target you could never quite hit. You don't remember the exact moment, but your body does. It stored the data. Proximity equals survival. Distance equals death. So you built the monitoring system, the hypervigilance protocol. You track tone shifts. Notice when they go quiet. Analyze the gap between messages. You think this is love. It's not. It's a defense mechanism running on autopilot. Clinging is a closed fist. You think you're holding them. You're actually crushing the space where connection lives. Here's the paradox they don't teach you. Immature love says, I need you to feel whole. Mature love says, I'm whole and I choose you. The difference is everything. One is dependency. The other is sovereignty. Your brain treats their absence like withdrawal. Same circuits, same panic. You're not weak. You're chemically hijacked by a system designed to keep an infant alive, now running in an adult relationship where it creates the exact outcome it fears. Tonight, resist the urge to text first. Just once. Notice the panic that rises, the story your mind tells. They don't care. They're pulling away. I'm losing them. That's not intuition. That's the program running. The intensity of your anxiety equals the depth of your dependency. This is diagnostic information. Use it. If you do nothing, the loop continues. You'll suffocate them with care. They'll create distance to breathe. You'll interpret distance as rejection. cling harder. They'll pull further. Eventually, someone breaks. Or you could rewrite the code. Choose them freely, daily, without the leash. But detachment sounds cold. Sounds like not caring. Let me show you the difference. Detachment isn't the absence of love. It's the presence of trust. You think there are two options, cling or abandon. The data shows a third path. Presence without possession. Connection without chains. Two trees don't merge roots to prove they're a forest. They stand close, separate, and the wind dances between them. That's the architecture. That's what you're built for. Your sign doesn't love less, Aquarius. You love differently. You love the essence, not the cage. You love the person, not the performance. The world calls this emotionally unavailable. I call it evolved. In my years of observation at Onyx, I've watched this specific code, the fear of detachment, destroy the exact intimacy it tries to protect. The irony is brutal. The tighter you hold, the more you become a stranger to the person you're holding. You stop seeing them. You start monitoring a threat. Here's the reframe. What if your ability to detach is your superpower? What if it's the only way to love someone as they actually are, not as your anxiety needs them to be? Ancient wisdom knew this. Suffering comes from clinging to what changes. Everything changes, including them, including you. Detachment isn't giving up. It's seeing clearly. It's releasing the illusion of control you never had. Marcus Aurelius watched empires fall and wrote, "Loss is nothing but change." You're not losing them by letting go. You're freeing both of you to choose each other new every morning. This is what detached love looks like in reality. Saying I miss you without checking if they miss you back. Celebrating their solo trip instead of tracking their stories. Trusting the bond without testing it hourly. Loving their silence as much as their words. The paradox breaks your brain, but it's true. The less you need them, the more they feel safe to stay. Desperation repels. Sovereignty attracts. You've been running the wrong program. Need equals love. The data shows otherwise. Need equals fear. Love equals choice. And choice requires space. Space requires detachment. Detachment requires trust. Trust in what? In yourself. That you'll survive if they leave. That your worth isn't tied to their presence. That you can stand alone and still choose connection. So how do you rewire this without feeling like you're pretending? You start with the smallest unit of code. One decision, daily. The morning choice protocol. Every morning, before you check their text, before you scroll their feed, before you calculate if they're pulling away, you say this out loud. I choose you today. Not because I need you, because I see you and I want this. 60 seconds. One statement. Conscious selection. Your nervous system has been running autopilot for years. I'm stuck with them. If I leave, I'm alone. If they leave, I'm nothing. That's the old wiring, the survival code written when you were too young to know better. This ritual overwrites it. You're teaching your brain, this is freedom, not a trap. Notice what happens. Not in them, in you. The obsessive monitoring starts to quiet. The panic when they don't text back, it dulls. You stop performing love and start living it. The space test. When they need alone time, and they will because humans need air, you don't fill the void. You sit with the discomfort. Let the panic rise like a wave. Feel your chest tighten. Feel the urge to text, to check, to confirm you still exist in their mind. And you do nothing. You let the wave crest. You breathe through it. You survive the gap. This is the test. Not for them, for your system. You're proving to your ancient wiring their absence does not equal abandonment. I am still here. I am still whole. If you can't handle their silence, you're not in love. You're in fear. And fear always kills what it tries to protect. The projection. Withdrawal. Take a piece of paper. Write down everything you love about them. Every quality, every trait. Now ask, is this them or is this my ideal? Where are you loving your fantasy instead of their reality? Where are you clinging to the version you need them to be, not the human they actually are? Circle the projections, the traits you assigned them because you needed a savior, a parent, a fix for your wound. Cross them out. What's left? That's the real person, flaws included. Detachment starts here. When you stop projecting, you stop being disappointed. You start loving what is, not what you wish was. The consequence loop. 2 paths. Choose clearly. Old code. Keep clinging. They feel smothered. They create distance to breathe. You interpret distance as rejection. You cling harder. They pull further. Loop repeats until someone breaks. New code. Practice detachment. They feel trusted. Trust creates safety. Safety creates intimacy. You get what you wanted by releasing the grip. This isn't theory. This is the algorithm of mature love. And it starts with one decision. Tomorrow morning, 60 seconds. I choose you today. Not because you need them, because you're free enough to want them. That's where the power lives. You came here running old code, clinging, monitoring, confusing surveillance with care. Now you see the pattern. The childhood wound that wrote the script, the addiction loop your nervous system mistakes for love, the cost of the closed fist. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's loving someone enough to let them be free, and trusting yourself enough to be free too. This is your design, Aquarius. You were never built for fusion. You were built for connection without chains. The world calls it emotionally unavailable. I call it evolved. You love the essence, not the cage. You see the person, not the fantasy you need them to be. It's lonely sometimes, being the one who loves without clinging, but loneliness is the price of sovereignty, and sovereignty is the price of real intimacy. Most people never pay it. They stay in the loop, clinging, suffocating, wondering why love keeps dying in their hands. You can't control if they stay. You can control who you become while they're here, desperate or sovereign. The relationship might end either way, but you'll know you loved clean. No manipulation, no monitoring, no leash disguised as devotion. Change is nature's delight. If they leave, you'll survive. You already know how. If they stay, you'll know it's choice, not obligation. Either way, you're free. Try the daily choice ritual. Just once, tomorrow morning, 60 seconds. Say it out loud. I choose you today. Then watch what shifts. Not in them, in you. That's where the power lives. That's where it always lived. The algorithm continues. You know where to find me.